When the lights went out in the arena, they're back on now to introduce the players. The lights on our TV monitors screens also went down, but now we have our pictures back, and we are ready for tonight's game between Milwaukee and Boston. Let's look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the visiting Boston Celtics, a big change. Bird and McHale at forward, but Kite in place of Parish. I told you a moment ago that Kite had not played since April. And Doug Collins, in a nutshell, what does it mean to have Kite starting at center for Boston?
Well, you're not going to get the offensive production out of a Greg Kite. He's a big banging kind of player, foul prone. And again, he's not a shot blocker, so I think they'll miss Robert Parish there. I think you're going to see a lot of two-man games tonight between Bird and McHale, trying to get the ball inside, let Kevin McHale attack the basket, or dish it out and let Larry Bird look for his jump shot.
And a challenge in terms of working his personnel for K.C. Jones. For Milwaukee, Cummings and Pressey at the forward, Sikma at center. Lucas and Sidney Moncrief, who's just caught on fire, will be at the guard position. And for the Milwaukee Bucks, they're a team on a roll. And Don Nelson, who is loved here in Milwaukee. Of course, this is his 11th year he's finishing. There's placards all over here about Keep Nelly here in Wisconsin. The officials tonight, Earl Strom and Darryl Garrettson. Joe Crawford is the alternate. And Don Nelson could have coached his last game there in Boston had Milwaukee lost, because there is a question whether he'll return here. But Nelly and the Bucks are back.
I think that Nelly has a purpose in mind with this team right now, and they're playing very well as a team, but they're also playing very confidently. And I think it's important for them to come out tonight and establish the pace of the game. I look for the Celtics to try to get the score down to about 110, 112. They cannot allow Milwaukee to get up 129, 130 points tonight, because without Parish, I don't think they can score that many points.
Boston has been scoring about 117 points a game in the playoffs. Milwaukee in this series been scoring nearly 123. Bird on the drive. He misses. Milwaukee runs.
He also fell on his wrist. He's holding his hand. Look at Bird. He's holding his wrist right now. I think he hurt his arm when he fell.
Exactly. His right wrist. He is now flexing his fingers. Bird inside. Got that sore wrist for the reverse layup on the nice pass. It's tied at 2. We'll keep an eye on the wrist.
You see right now, too, Danny Ainge trying to pick up further on the floor with Lucas to try to cut down on that penetration to the basket.
Sikma over Kite. Looked like he was bumped. And we have a foul that's going to be on Milwaukee.
I think they're going to call that on Greg Kite and give a two-shot foul to Jack Sikma. It was a little bit of a late whistle, but call is a shooting foul. There's where you're going to see a difference tonight, Bob. Parish, when he plays Jack Sikma, bellies up on him and takes away that jump shot from him. Greg Kite cannot bother his shot, so Jack Sikma will be very confident to just square up and look to shoot that little jump shot. If he straightens up, he'll try to drive around him.
Of course, Kite was right in his face. And to the free throw line goes Jack Sikma. And Sikma has been playing very well in the playoffs. He averaged 12 points a game in the regular season, 16 points a game now in the playoffs.
And he is now 24 for 24 from the free throw line in the playoffs. Make that 25 for 25.
Bucks 4-2. Opening minute of play from the Mecca in Milwaukee. Along with Doug Collins, this is Bob Neal. NBA playoff action on the Superstation. Here's Greg Kite starting in place of the injured Robert Parish. Kicks it out to McHale. And McHale drives and scores. Well, there's a good example of Kite not going to the hoop. He had as good a position as he might have and chose not to. Cummings opens up with a perimeter jumper, a streak shooter. He was red hot in the fourth quarter of the Milwaukee win at Boston.
When he's shooting his outside jumper, he's very difficult to defend against, because he has the ability to drive around you.
McHale, 2 consecutive baskets. They double-teamed the ball high, did Milwaukee. And Ainge got it down to McHale, who went one-on-one over Sikma. Moncrief on the drive. He continues his streak.
What a gutsy player. He is a great basketball player.
Ainge down the middle. McHale battling for the ball. Pressey finally comes away with a loose basketball.
Got the numbers 4-on-2. Yeah, I really think that Boston is going to have to use a little bit more clock. If they get into this kind of up-and-down game, they're going to get worn down.
Johnson from the top of the key. Ainge with the rebound. Off the glass.
Here they go again.
Johnson with a wise foul. He stopped Lucas in the backcourt. Stopped the fast break basket. 10-6 Milwaukee. 9:49 to go first quarter.
That was a smart foul by Dennis Johnson. If he had not taken that foul, they had a breakaway, so he did the smart thing. See, here's where they don't have Parish. They'll drive to the bucket all night long.
Lucas pulls up and misses, and the Celtics come back trailing by 4. Down low to Bird. One-on-one against Pressey. Bird missing. Milwaukee running. 3-on-2.
They're going to wipe it away. They're going to call a loose ball foul on Terry Cummings, pushing Dennis Johnson in the back.
Take the basket back.
Let's watch it here. Paul Pressey, everything Milwaukee's doing right now is attacking the basket. He goes right at Larry Bird. Dennis Johnson, good position. You see the push in the back by Terry Cummings.
Bucks 10-6, 9 minutes to go first quarter. Off the screen, Bird from 18. And he fell on his wrist on the opening play of the game. Seems to be okay. We'll keep our eye on the right wrist of Larry Bird. By the way, McHale playing with a sore wrist also on his left wrist. You see tape on it in addition to his slight break. It's picked off by Moncrief.
Oh, what a great play by Larry Bird.
Ainge tried to make a pass, unwisely so. It was blocked away, and back comes Milwaukee. There's Moncrief. 12-8 Milwaukee. Moncrief with 6. Celtics playing tentatively to open the game, a three-pointer. As I say that, from Danny Ainge, who never has played tentatively in his life.
I'm really surprised at the pace of this game right now. I thought Boston might look to slow it down a little bit, but they're really looking to take shot for shot with the Bucks right now.
Sikma tries one from 18. Rebound McHale. Here comes Dennis Johnson. Bird takes the pass and hits the jumper. Unbelievable. And now the Celtics very quietly have taken a 13-12 lead with 7:51 to go in the quarter. Moncrief slipped around Bird and got the layup.
That's a tough matchup for Larry Bird against Sidney Moncrief. He's so quick, and when he gets around the basket, he's also strong and can slither in there and score.
Bird pushed off of Pressey. Nobody saw it and got the lay-in. He pushed, got the lob pass, and got it.
We're seeing some great plays right now, and the game is only about 5 minutes old.
Bird with 8 already.
Moncrief with 8.
Moncrief for 3. Misses that one. Here comes Ainge. It's 1 against 2. Pulls up for the jumper. Misses it, and Cummings come back. Celtics by 1. Ainge gets some help on Pressey. Cummings is left open. Ainge was also down there. It'll depend on who they feel fouled him first. It's on Kite, and that's his second.
Well, Moncrief gets into the heart of the defense. He draws 2 people, and here comes Cummings. You know actually what happened that time? He tripped over Danny Ainge's foot, and then it caused him to stumble. It made it look like Kite fouled him harder than he really did.
And Greg has 2 early.
Look at Sidney Moncrief without the basketball. He's going to make a pass to Pressey in the post. He starts to go away from the ball, sort of lulls Larry Bird to sleep, makes a real quick move back to the basketball. He's isolated in the post and makes a nice play. And Milwaukee does that very well. They isolate and they make quick cuts to the basket, and they always spot the open man. And take a look what Sidney Moncrief has meant to this Milwaukee Buck organization. He's averaged close to 17.5 points a game. But look at the wins. That's what you count on right there. Almost 54 wins a season, and that says the importance.
And prior to his arrival, only 37.5 wins a season. Tonight, Sidney has 8 points, 1 rebound, 4 out of 5 from the field, 80% field goal shooting. He has 1 assist already. And he only played 39 regular season games this year with knee and hamstring problems. But he is back for the playoffs, averaging 38 minutes a game in this series, 34 minutes a game in the playoffs. He had only about 17 in the regular season. Terry Cummings will go to the free throw line with 6:54 to go in the first quarter. Celtics lead it by 1, 15-14. Celtics hurting. Parish is at home. Greg Kite started at center for Boston tonight.
I think one trend we should look for tonight, the team that has been to the free throw line the most in every game has won. So the team that will attack the basket tonight, get to the free throw line, has the great opportunity to keep that intact.
And now 3 out of 4 is Milwaukee from the line. Boston has yet to shoot. Tied at 15. McHale over Sikma. Bird sneaks in for the rebound, but bangs it off the hands of Greg Kite. Most of us thought, Doug Collins, that we'd see McHale play center and Fred Roberts the forward. We're a little surprised to see Kite starting at center.
I think what they're trying to do is think about maybe Roberts and Darren Day coming off the bench, giving them a little more offense. I think they feel like the team they have on the floor right now, they can score. The other two players a little bit better offensively.
Greg Kite to Bird. From long range, it's two-pointer. And it's Celtics 17, Bucks 15 with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bird has 10 points already. Pierce into the ball game just moments ago for Milwaukee. Sneaks past Danny Ainge to get the baseline lead.
He is such a strong player. He has this big, strong body, and although he does not have height, when he gets it in close, he can muscle and get it in the basket.
Pierce's numbers are down during the playoff, but his playing time has been down. Moncrief has something to do with that. He's been playing so well. Dennis Johnson on a delicate drive that's picking his way through traffic. Celtics by 2. Pierce over Ainge.
Oh, this is a good sign for the Bucks because this guy's instant offense. He won the 6th man award this year for play off the bench, and he gives him a terrific lift when he comes in.
Bird again down low. Johnson down to Bird, who's back Pressey. Pressey talking to Daryl Garrettson right now. That's twice that Bird has kind of eased away from Pressey. Bird's down. Pressey misses. Boston rebound. Boston leads by 2, can build a 4-point lead here. Kite misses the layup. It'll belong to Boston.
See, what Milwaukee will do with Greg Kite in the ball game, they'll use his man a lot to double team. He'll be the guy to be the helper. What they want to do is make sure they don't give him any shots off the offensive backboard.
Ainge off the screen on the inbound play. Boston is devastating on the baseline inbound play.
And that's because they got a great man throwing it in who makes outstanding decisions on who to throw it to and where he wants it.
4:33 remaining in the first quarter. Celtics 23, Bucks 19. Another miss inside. Very few whistles in this ball game early on. Johnson open on the baseline from Ainge, and Dennis Johnson buries it, and it's 25-19. Celtics leading by 6. Bucks had led by 6 very early.
They're playing very well right now, pushing the ball, spotting the open man, and burying their shots. They're shooting a very high percentage right now.
Don Nelson calls timeout from the Milwaukee Bucks after Boston scores 6 straight points to take a 6-point lead. You want to talk about concentration? Don Nelson's concentrating on this so much he didn't realize when his birthday was. Boston paper wished him happy birthday yesterday. They looked in the NBA guide, found out his birthday's today. And so they had some cake for him this morning. So, Don, it is your birthday. Don't want to distract you.
Well, he's an outstanding coach. He's changed the NBA game a lot in his years in the league with spacing on the floor and the isolations and the different things to take advantage of the illegal defense. So also the pressing defenses. Nelly's been quite an innovator and is a terrific young coach.
11 years as a player with Boston and now 11 years as a coach here in Milwaukee. Every 11 years, they say, he changes jobs.
Yeah, I'm sure the Milwaukee fans don't want to hear that.
Sikma, the Kite, off the floor, but Sikma misses. What for him is usually a gimme. Celtics by 6, and Milwaukee's shooting has gone cold. They've missed 4 straight trips down the floor, and Boston has picked up the defensive boards. Ainge sneaks in for the pass from Bird, misses the layup.
Well, Bird made a great pass to Ainge. He saw Lucas double teaming.
McHale in the ball game now for the Milwaukee Bucks. Pierce is open. Just inside the 3-point line.
He's not really a jump shooter. You like to see him shoot the jumper out to about 20 feet. Where you're concerned with Ricky Pierce is when he posts and takes you into about the 10-foot range.
Pierce on Dennis Johnson now. They've isolated the side for DJ.
Bird's everywhere right now. Passing, scoring, rebounding.
Had a little eye contact going with Dennis Johnson, directing one or the other to try to hold on Pierce as Johnson couldn't break away from him. And now Darren Day into the ball game. And Greg Kite is going to sit down.
Watch Boston's inbound play here. Bird is a three-point shooter, so you have to be aware of him taking the ball in. And he looks inside the post to Kevin McHale quickly for a post-up.
Seasting in for Ainge. 25-19, leading Milwaukee. 2:50 to go, first quarter. Bird isolated. Now the double team and the open man Sidney from long range. McHale with a big rebound over Sikma, and he's fouled. Be a two-shot foul.
You must block Boston off the basket, off the boards. If you let them get to the offensive boards, they are murder. Kevin McHale has such long arms. Look what he does. He doesn't really leap that high, but look at the extension he gets. He keeps his arms real high. And with Boston, you've got to get out on the floor and bang them, not let them get that kind of position, because they'll nudge you and come right over your back.
McKeskey out, Brewer in for Milwaukee. That was Paul Pressey's first foul. And we want to watch the foul situation with Pressey very carefully, because his playoff numbers are down, and one of the reasons is he's been in foul trouble most of this series.
You see right now that Nelly has 2 starters in the ball game. He's got Sikma and Pressey. He has 3 other players, Pierce and Brewer and Hodges. Remember, Hodges is an outstanding streak shooter that has 3-point range. See if they try to run a screen down for him to get him going.
Sikma over Bird. We'll check these matchups here. They could be interesting. Darren Day faces Sikma and fires it from 15 feet. Rebound Pierce. Celtics by 6. Sikma again against Bird. Passes it inside to Pressey, to Brewer. The jumper falls for Randy Brewer. Boston by 4. 2 minutes to go in the quarter. And Casey Jones and the Celtics call timeout. Casey doesn't want to see this, what was a 6-point lead, evaporate all the way. With 2 minutes to go in the quarter, Celtics 27-23 over the Bucks.
Let's take a look at the front court domination in this series of the Boston Celtics. See their big people averaging 83 points a game as opposed to 61 from Milwaukee. And in the game thus far, we see the scoring 8 for 14 from the front line to 4 for 9 from Milwaukee.
Darren Day banks it off the glass. Day played very well in the double overtime Boston win last weekend. Pressey on the drive, can't get the roll. Stripped away from McHale by Pierce. Pressey picks up the loose ball and scores.
Those are the kind of opportunity plays that Milwaukee's going to have tonight. Stripping the ball loose and making it count.
Boston bench playing right now. Day, Sidney, and a foul on the drive by Darren Day.
Darren Day's a good offensive player now. He can score. He's had his moments in the league where he's had big ball games, and he's a very good one-on-one player, especially if you get him at the top of the circle. He likes to isolate and drive the ball to the basket. He was with our team a while this year with Chicago, and you know, when Gene Banks came back from broken foot, we had to let Darren go, but he can score, and he was a big factor here in Sunday when he made a key field goal and 2 free throws.
Day, of course, a big member of that UCLA team with a tremendous group of talent. Foster, Holton, Darren Day. They had some terrific players a few years back at UCLA.
Like Casey Jones is giving Larry Bird a rest. He'll give him probably the last minute 15 of the quarter and then the timeout during the break. So you can get almost a 5-minute rest here and only lose a minute on the clock.
Fred Roberts in. Bad pass from Pressey. You don't see that more than a couple of times a season from that man. 31-25 Celtics, leading by 6, could build to their largest lead with a bucket here. 1:06 to go in the first quarter. And Sidney Moncrief set to return to the floor for the Bucks. Double screen down on the baseline. McHale. This is the jump hook, but there's Day, then Roberts. 2-shot foul.
It's a very good sign for Boston, the fact that Roberts and Darren Day have come off the bench early and look to be involved in the offense. Darren Day has taken the ball to the basket and scored 4 points. Fred Roberts, a nice offensive rebound there, looking to score on a stick back. So, as we said at the top of the game, I think that these guys have to come in and look to score, not just to come in and fill a role and try to buy time while the starters are off the floor.
Well, the Celtics have quieted the crowd and kept them out of the game in the first quarter. That was one of Casey Jones' hopes for this game, is that he could keep this sellout mecca crowd quiet in the first quarter. 46 seconds remaining. The Celtics lead it by 6.
Important now for Boston to match up quickly against Milwaukee. They might look to take a quick shot here to get 2 for 1.
Moncrief back into the ball again.
They like to look for a 3 for Hodges. 10 down for him.
Moncrief just blew past Darren Day. A quickness mismatch.
Sidney Moncrief has that sort of a funny gait to his leg. He gives you a little head and shoulders. He gets you straightened up, and then he gives you that hesitation, goes around you. And his experience, he does not release the ball until he feels someone bang him. Then he throws it at the basket to get the foul.
Roberts picks up his first personal. Ainge back in. Johnson to the bench now with 38 seconds to go in the first quarter.
You know, young players, when they come into the league, Bob, when they go to the basket, they shoot the ball quickly. And what happens is the big shot blockers go up and get it, and as you mature and get experience, you force the contact before you let the ball go, and then you'll be able to get to the free throw line.
Pressure, and it turns over the ball. Pierce misses, racing back in Boston now after losing it. Dodged a bullet. Day to Roberts. Good pass from Day to Roberts. There's the Boston bench performing well on that possession. 34-27 Boston. 15 seconds in the quarter. Shot clock's up. Cummings fouls Day in the backcourt. Moncrief had nowhere to go with the ball.
The play broke down. Boston did a nice job getting back and protecting against the drive of Sidney Moncrief, forced him to dish the ball out. And Darren Day right now has been a big factor in this game. He got a nice steal there. 4 seconds to go in the quarter. So what you'd like to do is get the last shot, and Milwaukee now is getting Boston an opportunity to walk down to the line and make 2 free throws. And those are little things that drive coaches crazier. Turnovers at the end of quarters to allow the other team to score.
Darren Day hits the first, and Boston now evening up the free throw situation. As a matter of fact, Milwaukee in the penalty, which is why Day's shooting this, and the Celtics have yet to enter the penalty. 4 seconds to go in the quarter. From very long range, Hodges misses by an eyelash, but the Celtics build a 9-point first quarter lead, starting Greg Kite at center and getting some substantial help from the much maligned Boston bench. This is Bob Neal at the Mecca in Milwaukee. Opening of the second quarter. Celtics 36, Bucks 27. Lucas, double team, backed outside the three-point line. Couldn't get it to go. Loose ball foul, Milwaukee. It's on Randy Brewer.
You know, Boston did a great job in that first period. We're going to look at the statistics. You can see 14 to 29 they shot, but 48% to 44. Look at the rebounds, though. 18 to 8. That's the big key. And I think also a big key was when K.C. Jones went to the bench. He took Larry Bird out with 1:15 to go in the first period, and they actually built on the lead. So the reserves did a nice job. Darren Day with 6 points and Fred Roberts 3.
And now Sam Vinson into the ball game from Boston. Larry Bird falls to the floor but hits the shot. Hodges against Day. Celtics continue to lead by 9. Moncrief with 10 points. Going to be a foul on Milwaukee.
Right now, Boston is just more aggressive on the backboard. They forced Fred Roberts to take the tough shot. He spins in the lane off a little move and sort of short arms the ball to the basket. Not a good follow-through, but here's the aggressive action. Darren Day picking up the rebound and forcing Sidney Moncrief to foul him. Milwaukee must get on the backboard if they're going to be able to run out on the fast break.
Moncrief's first foul. Shot clock down to 10. Roberts on the drive.
That's what Fred Roberts does well. He's 6'9" or 6'10". You don't understand it because he doesn't look that big, but he's a very quick, slashing player to the basket.
Biggest Boston lead of 11 points, but that's going to be reduced, and the three-point opportunity is coming up for Sidney Moncrief.
Foul is shot number 20.
Darren Day picks up the personal.
First on Boston in the period.
10:34 to go, second quarter.
Number 4, Sidney.
It's been an interesting game thus far, Doug, in that in my view of it, it's been one of each team trying to feel out the combination the other coach is putting on the floor.
I think that Milwaukee has taken some tough shots. They've almost over-penetrated trying to attack the basket and have taken some tough shots. On the other hand, Boston has got a little bit more higher percentage shot, and that's the reason they're scoring better from the field.
Bird with 14 for Boston, Moncrief with 13 for the Bucks. Ainge fakes the pass, takes it inside, feeds to Roberts. That was beautiful play by Ainge. First of all, Bird got Ainge the ball. Ainge faked to Vincent, got it to Roberts for the jam.
Well, Danny Ainge set the whole play up. He said with the pump fake, he catches the ball on the skip pass, and he makes a fake. Then he penetrates. You see Boston now, or excuse me, the Bucks now scrambling to try to find a man, and Fred Roberts, again, right there on the spot. It's a big field goal, does not get the free throw down.
Moncrief on the outlet is stopped by Ainge, and they're at it.
Boy, Sidney Moncrief is really upset.
Ainge tackled Moncrief as he tried to go on the breakaway basket. They're still at it in the baseline, and they're right in the midst of all the fans here. Let's hope this doesn't get out of hand.
It's out of hand. Don Nelson's on the floor. He tried to get in there and break it up. He's down on the floor. See if anybody gets thrown out. This will be very interesting to see if there's an ejection, because if it goes, it'll be Ainge and Moncrief probably. I don't know what they're going to do.
Let's see if Moncrief is injured here. He's slow getting up, as you can see him there, being assisted by Dennis Johnson and K.C. Jones. Boston got the outlet pass into their fast break. Ainge was back, tried to stop the basket. I'm not going to make any comment as to my opinion on whether or not what his intentions were, beyond the fact that they were to definitely stop Moncrief from getting the layup. He did that, but when he tackled Moncrief, it certainly hit the wrong button on Sidney.
You know, what happens is when you see somebody 5 or 6 or 7 games in a row, your temper gets short, and Sidney Moncrief took the ball to the basket, and Danny Ainge wrapped him up. Let's watch it. He wraps him up right there, and Sidney comes up swinging.
Looked like Sidney may have delivered the first blow in terms of who punched who.
Boy, body slammed him too, and then they go at it.
Earl Strom and Daryl Garrettson are the officials. They'll have to sort this out. All 3 Boston coaches on the floor, both of the Milwaukee coaches out there. That's a live Milwaukee wrestling look. A body slam is right.
I think Sidney Moncrief hurt his right shoulder.
Ladies and gentlemen, official ruling. There's a personal foul on 44, Danny Ainge.
Personal foul on Ainge.
There is a fighting foul on 44, Danny Ainge. And number 4, Moncrief. Timeout.
I got to find out what a fighting foul is. Does that mean an ejection, or does that mean a technical? We're going to have to find out what the ruling is here.
That's the first time I've heard the phrase fighting foul.
I've never heard of fighting foul.
Neither have I. We'll sort out what Earl Strom and Daryl Garrettson are going to do about that. Generally speaking, Doug, and obviously you've been involved in this in games of your own with your club, if a player punches another player and lands a blow, almost always that's an ejection.
Yes, I will tell you, though, that during the playoffs, the referees use a little more discretion in throwing people out of the ball game, because they don't want to make a decision that's going to, change the results of the game by throwing a player out. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. You're talking about 2 of the better officials in basketball right now, Earl Strom and Daryl Garrettson.
There's a possibility that there will be a double technical. We're checking with the official scorers table right now as Daryl Garrettson just walked away after explaining it.
Well, if that's the case, there'll be no shooting on a double technical, I don't think. I might be...
That's what I'm presuming at the moment is still, as you can see, Earl Strom just concludes a conversation with Don Nelson. We know that there's a personal foul on Ainge, and that came on the drive to the basket when he grabbed Moncrief. Then both Ainge and Moncrief picked up fighting fouls. If it is, in fact, a double technical, and that's what I'm starting to think it is, that'll mean, of course, that nothing will be shot.
Let's take a look again. Here, Sidney Moncrief goes, and it's a hard foul. When I'm going to say it's not a hard foul, and Sidney comes up, and both he and Danny Ainge are going at it. He sort of body slams Danny Ainge, and I think that's where he hurt his shoulder. He was down on the ground, and he hurt his shoulder. Neither player is going to be ejected. Let's see how this affects the outcome of this basketball game. Right now, the Bucks are down 10. They have 10 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the second quarter, and we'll have to see what effect that has on Sidney Moncrief's shoulder, because right now he's really holding that right arm.
So that's the deal. Both technical fouls, but since it's on each team, there will be no shooting. Moncrief is shooting the personal foul that was charged to Ainge.
32, Kevin McHale for Vincent.
Let's check the lineups now. Boston has Ainge, McHale, Johnson, Fred Roberts, and Bird. Pressey, Lucas, Moncrief, Pierce, and Sikma for Milwaukee.
These playoffs this year have been as exciting as any year I've ever seen. The scores have been outstanding. The games have been close.
Johnson blows past everybody for the easy layup. Moncrief, by the way, already has 15 Milwaukee points. Pressey. Intercepted by Dennis Johnson. Stepped right into the passing lane. Bird for 3. Roberts with the rebound. They're going to call Pressey for the holding foul, and that'll be foul number 2 on Paul Pressey.
Larry Bird really upset at himself right now. He missed a wide open 3. That's almost money in the bank for Larry Bird. But again, Fred Roberts on the offensive boards. And right now Milwaukee is doing themselves bad by not getting on that board.
Ainge from long range. It's a 2-pointer.
I will tell you one thing. Danny Ainge will not be ruffled by this crowd getting on him. He's a tough player, and he's going to look to continue to take the tough shots.
Celtics up by 12. 9:23 to go in the quarter. Lucas on the drive. And he's fouled. That's on Bird, his first. Check that. They're now saying it's on Ainge, his first. Ainge's second, of course, as Ainge picked up the foul on the Moncrief drive, and now this one. That's 2 on Danny Ainge. Tight rim for Milwaukee, but it's their home court. 46-35 Celtics, 9:13 in the second quarter. From Larry Bird.
When he starts making that shot, you've got big problems. When he shoots that ball comfortably from 15 feet.
Roberts has 9, Doug. Pierce to Pressey. They reverse it to Moncrief, open from 19. That ball was batted away by Roberts.
He's everywhere right now.
Dennis Johnson penetrating, and Boston on a scoring rampage. They have a 15-point lead at 8:30 to go in the second quarter. This is surprising me, Doug.
Still a long way to go right now, but Boston, the defending world champions, I'm telling you, they're a very gutty basketball team.
Pass into Sikma. They're calling the foul on McHale, so it'll be a 3-point opportunity. McHale's first.
Foul on 32,
Kevin McHale turns his back here. Sikma seals him very nicely. The foul, a little push in the back, and Sikma has an opportunity for a 3-point play. Still a long way to go in this game. Only 8:16, or still 8:16 remaining in the second period.
Sikma with a 3-point conversion.
Boy, Fred Roberts was down all alone. They did not match up with him, and Larry Bird surprised me did not see him.
Bird waited for Roberts to get loose. It went off his foot. No, check that. It went off Milwaukee player. It'll belong to Boston with 8 seconds on the shot clock. McHale with a knuckleball. No rotation on that one at all.
He really doesn't ever have any rotation on his shot. It's a flat shot.
But nobody's going to work on it with it.
No.
Pressey for a 2-pointer.
from Cummings.
12-point Celtics lead. Pressey with 6 points. Moncrief with 15 for Milwaukee. Bird with 14 for Boston. Dennis Johnson can't get it to fall. Pressey against Bird to Pierce. He's fouled.
Foul. 33. Larry Bird. That's his first.
Bird's first foul.
Overcoming it. The Bucks are in the penalty.
Bob, what happens when Milwaukee rebounds the ball well? They get these kind of opportunities. You see that they're outnumbering Boston now on the break because Boston makes a commitment to the offensive boards. So when Milwaukee can rebound, if they can get out in the open court and attack, the problem is that Boston has done a nice job and got the second shot, which keeps them from getting out and running. So one plays to the other.
Boston now over the limit, 5 team fouls. The Bucks will be in the penalty on their next foul. 7:20 to go in the second quarter. Ricky Pierce, the NBA 6th man of the year. 1 for 2 this trip to the free throw line. Boston by 11. Lucas just picked Ainge's pocket. Big play by John Lucas. Bucks have cut the lead to 9 points.
They're going to go inside to McHale on a post-up.
And Sikma with the pushing foul. That's his second.
That's where Kevin McHale is so tough. When he gets you in the low post and he catches the ball, he's almost impossible to defend against. You either have to really run and double him quickly or try to play him to make him shoot the jump shot, and hopefully he misses. He is as good in low post as there is.
Milwaukee has called timeout with 6:46 to go in the first half. Celtics by 9.
Hold the Celtics to 95 points or under tonight and win. Super America will give a buck's worth of free gasoline to fans showing that.
America's game. It's fantastic.
Don Lucas with a great steal here from Danny Ainge. He picks him clean, and now he's going to do the smart thing. He knows Danny Ainge has 2 fouls. Lucas, a veteran player, takes it right to the basket, knowing Ainge does not want to foul him to pick up his 3rd.
Well, the Boston bench has really done a good job. McHale misses a free throw. In terms of scoring, Doug, Boston bench outscored Milwaukee thus far 15-7. 9 for Roberts and 6 for Darren Day. Boston, as Doug was telling about those rebounds, it'll be a 3-point opportunity.
They're going to call a foul on Ricky Pierce.
Absolutely. Offensive foul. Pierce, don't count the basket. It's 53-43 Celtics.
Oh, Dennis Johnson got great position that time, and Ricky Pierce a little out of control, took it right over the top of him, and that's his 3rd foul.
Nobody else with more than 2. Pressey with 2. Pressey's been in foul trouble through much of this series. Celtics milking clock down to 6 on the shot clock. Bird from very long range. Kept alive by Roberts. Cummings picked up the loose ball and was fouled by Dennis Johnson in the backcourt. Both teams in the penalty.
You know, I look up the clock and it says 6:17. There's been enough action for 4 quarters already. We haven't even got to halftime yet.
This second quarter has been heated. Earlier, in case you joined us late, Ainge and Moncrief in a virtual wrestling match when Ainge tackled Moncrief on a Milwaukee fast break attempt. Moncrief and Ainge got into it. Both received technical fouls for fighting. Obviously remained in the game.
This is the man that's going to have to heat up right now for Milwaukee. He only has 6 points in the game. And in the series, he's averaging almost 25 points a game. 23 is for the whole playoffs. That's including Philadelphia. But he's averaging over 25 points a game against the Celtics.
1 for 2 from the free throw line. Cummings had 14 in the 4th quarter of the big Milwaukee win at Boston Garden.
He's a very streaky player. He can make 4 in a row. He can miss 4 in a row.
Great ball rotation. Ainge to Roberts to McHale.
The thing that makes Boston so tough to defend against, they are all good passers.
Lucas with excellent penetration. They're going to call another offensive foul.
I think that Milwaukee has gotten a little caught up tonight in going to the basket. They've got a lot of shots that they've taken, either offensive fouls or distorted shots like this, or they have walked away with an offensive foul. They're going to have to pull up maybe to keep the medium-range shot.
5:40 to go in the quarter. Johnson, that's 3 penetrating drives on which Dennis Johnson has scored with relative ease. Pressey from Sikma. The long rebound and the layup by Johnson. Sikma has 9. Celtics by 11. Johnson driving again. Roberts controls it, but loses it to Hodges. Moncrief in the reverse. Dawson dodged another bullet on the steal in the backcourt. That's happened twice. McHale with the Dennis Johnson miss. Well, that was a 4-point turnaround in terms in favor of Boston there. Pressey misses it. Tipped out by Cummings to Bird.
Again, Milwaukee with a tough shot.
Bird with a bad pass. It belongs to the Bucks.
They're taking a lot of tough shots going to the basket. Right now, they're not getting put to the free throw line, and it's really hurt their percentage.
The Mecca in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Eastern Conference semifinals. The defending world champion Boston Celtics leading Milwaukee in the series 3-2 with 4:23 to go in the second quarter. Cummings is fouled. Celtics lead 59-48.
31.
It's a great basketball game. You got two heavyweights going at each other. Boston is the champ, and Milwaukee trying to get there. Boston without Robert Parish. But Fred Roberts and Darren Day, I think, have been the key right now to Boston being ahead in this game, giving them 15 points combined off the bench.
Cummings only 2 for 5 from the free throw line, has only 6 in the game, 6 points. Make it 7. And it's a 10-point Celtics lead. Milwaukee healthy for one of the few times all year. Just over 200 player games did the Bucks. Johnson blows past Moncrief. Gets it to roll in. Dennis Johnson starting to total some points here. 12 now for Johnson.
What a big game player he is.
Bird hasn't scored for a while. He has 14 in the game.
Kicking violation.
That's a violation.
24-second clock.
New shot clock for Milwaukee. They'll inbound in front of their own bench. Cummings over Fred Roberts.
That's a matchup they like. Cummings against Fred Roberts. They'll try to go to it most every time down the floor. What's McHale at the post here?
Number Sikma misses it this time, and here comes Cummings. The 10-point Celtics lead. Moncrief is fouled as he drives. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Doug and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game.
Fouls on 31. Fred Roberts.
Roberts picks up the first one. That's 3.
Sidney Moncrief just did one of the little things in basketball that a veteran pro player like him with such great credentials does. He went up and he started to pass the ball off, and he heard the whistle, and in midair he threw it at the basket to try to get the shot to go, realizing they're in the penalty, and you might as well shoot it at the basket. Great play there by Sidney Moncrief.
Moncrief, 6 out of 6 from the free throw line, has 18 points in this game. But collects the loose ball off his miss for 3. Air ball. Celtics by 9. 3:17 to go in the second quarter. Full court pressure from the Bucks.
Sid would like to have that one back.
Soft pressure. Try to take it in there. 3 seconds. Illegal defense. called against Milwaukee.
Defense. Number 34, Terry Cummings. That's the first call against the Bucks.
Just the warning, it'll be inbounded with a new shot clock. And it's Johnson from 12. Johnson with 14 now. Johnson leads. Actually, he and Bird lead the Boston scorers with 14. Pressey gets the Sikma rebound. Ainge is going to get to go to the free throw line, misses the three-point chance. I held my breath there to see what Milwaukee defenders would do at the Ainge breakaway.
Well, you had Sidney Moncrief this time going at Danny Ainge. He just tried to foul him to not let him get the shot. And right now, Boston playing very well. An 11-point lead, shooting 2 free throws.
Timeout, Boston. 2.5 minutes to go. First half, Celtics lead by 11.
For next year to be.
And they score 5 quick points. They actually have the ball with 1 second to go to maybe win the game, but they go ahead and pull it out in double overtime. And we see the bench domination going into this series. The average minutes almost 76 a game for Milwaukee. And tonight we see this Boston outscoring the Milwaukee bench 15-7. And you can think Mr. Roberts and Darren Day, they have the 15. They're sitting beside each other right now. I'm sure they're very happy with their contribution they've made to the ball club, and they should be.
Parrish injured his ankle, is at home. They think Robert Parish could be back should this series have to go back to Boston on Sunday. Greg Kite started at center, and he is in there for Boston now at the center position. Hodges and Pierce, Pressey, Sikma, and Moncrief on the floor for the Milwaukee Bucks. Danny Ainge makes it 65-52 Celtics, and Ainge has 9 first-half points.
Milwaukee would like to cut this lead to about 8 by halftime in the last 2.5 minutes.
Boston by 13. Shot clock to 8. Nice feed from Sikma to Greg Hodges.
From Sikma.
2 minutes to go in the first half. Boston by 11.
Bob, I'm really surprised at the pace of this game. I didn't think Boston could score like this without Parish in the game.
McHale lost control. He was hounded down low by Pressey and Moncrief. Now Moncrief against Kite.
That was a tough shot by Sidney.
Kite 6'11", and Moncrief just 6'4½". 1.5 minutes to go in the first half. Ainge tried an ill-fated lob to Bird. Moncrief was pushed. Coming up at halftime, Charlie Neal and John McLeod will be along with highlights and news from around the NBA. Tonight's feature, great playoff moments, including Dennis Johnson's buzzer beater in the 1985 playoffs. Dennis Johnson with 14 points tonight, 2 fouls. Moncrief with 18 points. Make it 19, and he's had only 1 miss from the free throw line in 8 attempts. Everybody was asking Sidney, Doug, if he was really healthy. He said, what do you think? I scored 33 points in 38 minutes of playing time.
I really didn't think that he would ever return to this kind of form after his knees were hurt this year. It seemed like every time he tried to come back, something else would happen, but he battled it and rehabbed himself, and you got to give him a lot of credit. I'm sure he worked with his trainer, and they really worked hard to get him back out on the floor and play this kind of ability.
The 2 of the more successful NBA coaches, Don Nelson and K.C. Jones now, with strategy sessions on the sideline. The Milwaukee Bucks did not win the Central Division crown this year, but remember, they had more than 200 player games missed due to injury or illness. Now, in these playoffs, Milwaukee has resumed some state of health. All their players are relatively healthy, while Boston has been beat up And Parish is at home tonight. Of course, McHale playing with a sore ankle.
I think you look at the Central Division, you had 3 teams win 50 games or more. So Central Division, as I can attest to, is the toughest division in basketball right now.
Celtics by 9. 1 minute to go in the first half. Shot clock to 6. Great Milwaukee defense. Time remaining in the quarter at the bottom right. And the Bucks have done exactly what you said was their goal, and that's cut it to 8 instead of to 7 now.
Well, they can actually, if they get a good defensive stand here, they can cut this to 5. They would knock 10 points off in about the last 2 minutes and a half. That would be big sequence.
6 straight Bucks points. Foul on Milwaukee. Dennis Johnson will go to the line. It's on Moncrief. And that's his 3rd. 2 Milwaukee players with 3 fouls. Pierce with 3, Moncrief with 3.
You cannot put a price on experience when experience is also talented. And Dennis Johnson has been there before. He's been an MVP in a championship series when he played for Seattle. And he's not afraid to take the ball in his hands and make something happen out on the floor, especially at crunch time.
Dennis now leads all Boston scorers with 15 points. The Celtics have had good balance.
I think that has to be Don Nelson's biggest concern right now is that the Bucks really haven't had good balance. Sidney Moncrief has 20 points.
Nobody else in double figures.
Now they're 58, and right now Boston has spread it out a little bit more. I think that Nelly would like to get a few more people involved, but actually Sidney's been the one to carry them offensively here in the first half.
Johnson gets both of the free throws. From a Boston point of view, very important free throws. Celtics by 9, 28 seconds to go in the half. Shot clock down to 10 seconds. 7 seconds in.
They've cleared it out for Lucas to go to the left side. Here he can drive it to the basket.
Stops and fires for 18. McHale with one of those big rebounds, and he's hurt again. McHale goes to the floor again as they tried to get the pass to him. Lucas was back there, and McHale could hardly move.
Boy, this could be a big play right here. Oh, he twisted his ankle. He came down on the side of a guy's foot. He twisted his ankle.
And that's the left ankle.
You know what happened? I think his right ankle had been hurt before. And you know what happens sometimes? You start overcompensating to stay off of that foot, and you'll land on the other one. And I think that's what happened. He rolled his ankle over.
At the line is John Lucas.
Right now,
he's playing with a sore left wrist. You see the tape on it.
Wait, it looks like they might be spraying his knee right now. I wonder if he sprained his knee. It looked like when he came down, he rolled his ankle over, but he might have jammed his knee.
As a matter of fact, Ray Melchior, the Boston trainer, is working on the left knee of Kevin McHale. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Johnson would have counted. Celtics lead by 8, so the Bucks reduced the 15-point lead to the 8 points Doug said would be their mission here. So they must be pleased with the late second quarter effort. Don Nelson must be. But the Celtics have a lead at halftime here at the Mecca in Milwaukee. We'll be going back to our studios after these messages, and then Doug and I will be back for the second half in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
Anybody can see that.
Flying high on a 2-game-to-1 advantage in the 1985 NBA Finals, the Lakers are on a roll. But the Celtics have a championship to defend, and ace defender Dennis Johnson leads the green charge as Boston stays with L.A. stride for stride in the first half. But in the third quarter, the Lakers break hits full throttle. 1 part steamroller, 1 part lightning. Calmly, Casey Jones removed his battered starters, and unlikely hero Quinn Buckner injected new fight into his beleaguered teammates. Into the thin air had LA's lead evaporated to just 2 points And a revived Larry Bird ignited a fourth-quarter rally that put Boston's finest a bucket up with a minute to play. The Lakers pinned their game-tying hopes on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's legendary skyhook. Magic Johnson's uncanny rebound and follow dramatically evened the score. And with only seconds left, the ball was in the hands of one of the game's premier clutch performers.
DJ bringing it up. It's down to 15 seconds. All right, Magic guarding DJ. Right now, there's a double stack, and Larry walks through the lane, coming to the right. And he gets the pass. Goes into the lane. Jump pass back out to DJ. DJ throws on the shot. It's gone, and no time left. It's all over. It is all over. Boston wins the all-important fourth game.
Effective all night long there. Dennis with 16. Terry Cummings was triple team, got away with it, and scored.
That's the kind of shot that Terry Cummings will make. 3 guys hanging on him, and he'll knock it in.
Conscience of a gunfighter. Bird's McHale. And Kevin with the baseline jumper.
Kevin McHale's moving actually pretty well on that knee right now. Well, that's a scary thing. You see a guy with that knee buckle like that. That's the most fragile situation. You hurt a knee.
Cummings pounds it inside, but misses the layup. Cummings almost stole it from Johnson. Ainge there for the loose ball. Bird missed the layup as he couldn't get past Sikma. Lucas. It's a 4-point Celtics lead. 8 minutes to go, third quarter. Dennis Johnson penetrating again.
Dennis Johnson really made a great play there. He made a nice pass and then a super cut. Got it head and shoulders in front of the defensive man and was able to turn the corner.
Pressey now with 12 points. Let's see who picks up Dennis Johnson. It has been Sidney Moncrief. Moncrief on Johnson again. Lucas now has switched to Johnson. Ainge from the perimeter. It's a three-pointer.
See, Danny Ainge did a smart thing there. He read the double team and he floated over behind three-point land, knocked in a three-pointer. Dennis Johnson spotted him and hit him as the double teaming will start to develop.
Lucas blows past Kite. He's coming. It's a 5-point Celtics lead. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go, third quarter.
Oh, what a great move.
Bird can't get the layup. He's missed 2 layups in this quarter. Cummings. He's fouled by Kite, and that'll be 5.
Now, Terry
Cummings wants a piece of Kite.
Well, he needs to just stay away. I mean, right now, Terry Cummings has got to get himself under control. That's 5 fouls on Kite. You do not, if you're Terry Cummings, now want to go over there and get involved in a scuffle. Step up, shoot your free throws, and just walk away from it.
Don Nelson out in the middle of the court, making sure nothing happens. So Kite picks up 5. Roberts is going to come in for Greg Kite, I'm virtually certain. And we have a Milwaukee timeout.
Paul Pressey on the drive misses it. Terry Cummings with a rebound. Kite wraps him up. Cummings goes down and does not like it. He starts to react. And his teammates step in wisely.
Oh, yes, it's playoff time. It's springtime. We'll be right back.
You by Renault and Jeep, official vehicles of the NBA.
Greg Kite on the bench now in foul trouble with 5. He's replaced by Fred Roberts, who has 3. McHale with 4. 2 of the Bucks, Moncrief and Pierce with 3 each.
Bob, let's keep in mind that the team that has won every game in the series has been the team that's won the game at the free throw line. Right now, Milwaukee 19 for 26 and Boston 12 for 15. So let's keep that in mind. That has been the key factor in every playoff game in this series.
Milwaukee with a big edge in the second half. In the front court scoring.
One more. 31, Fred Roberts into the Boston lineup.
Cummings is 4 for 8 from the free throw line tonight. Terry has 14 points in the game. 4-point Celtics lead, 6:47 to go in the third. Roberts with a powerful move to the hoop. He missed the layup. That's 4 Boston missed layups. Lucas.
Oh, Paul Pressey, you know what he did that time? He took his eye off the ball at the last second to see where his teammates were and went right by him.
Maybe he could play second base. I've seen a couple of infielders do that.
Let's watch this. John Lucas on the drive, and he misses it. Cummings going out of bounds. He spots Pressey. He throws it back to him, and at the last minute, he took his eye off of it.
Celtics by 4.
Momentum stop from Larry Bird is who they're going to.
Left hand. Doesn't get it to fall, but he goes to the line.
Foul.
Bird was the leading free throw shooter in the NBA in the regular season. He is shooting at a .895 clip here in the playoffs.
At the line.
Well, Larry Bird had 14 points in the first half. This is the first free throws he's shot in the ball game, so he's not gotten to the line.
Celtics by 6. 6:17 to go in the third quarter. From the Mecca in Milwaukee, along with Doug Collins, this is Bob Neal. Pressey guarded by Bird. Nice defensive play by Kevin McHale.
Boy, that was a key play right there, too. Kevin McHale, if he'd have gotten that foul, that would have been his 5th foul.
It looked like there could have been a whistle there. There was definitely contact, but there's so much contact in this game. Roberts with the pass from Bird, and he gets the layup.
Fred Roberts.
Great pass over the top by Larry Bird, and Fred Roberts cut to the basket.
Now an 8-point Celtics lead, 82-74. Lucas against Ainge. Wants to get it to Cummings. There's Bird to strip it away. The double team at exactly the right moment. It'll be Boston ball with 17 seconds on the shot clock. Sidney Moncrief returning to action in the ballgame. Gary Cummings is going to the bench. So Milwaukee with a very small lineup here, with the exception of Sikma. Ainge with the shooter's roll that time, and it's a 10-point Celtics lead. Milwaukee had cut the lead to 4. Dennis Johnson with a big board, and the Celtics can build a 12-point lead. Roberts inside again from Dennis Johnson that time.
Well, that was a great pass by Dennis Johnson. Larry Bird started to come off a screen. Roberts flashed to the basket. Great pass for the score.
8 straight Celtics points, 4:50 to go in the third. Collins and John Lucas go way back together as players in the NBA, and Doug talked to John right prior to tonight's game.
Luke, you had a traumatic experience in 1977 playing the Philadelphia 76ers, and I took an offensive foul on you that we were able to win the series 4-2. Have you ever got over that experience yet?
That was my first year in Houston, and I see guys like Ainge, and I see guys like Whitman. I don't think of you so much when I see Dennis Johnson, but other guys like that play like you, I just have a personal vendetta, because those guys stand there and they do some of the same things, and they run off picks. And then I have to come see you 6 times a year in Chicago. It's tough, Doug, but, you know, I love you. And
You don't believe that, do you?
Actually, I do. John Lucas and Doug Collins. That was 77, right?
Yep.
Roberts picked up the foul, and Moncrief goes to the line, and Roberts now has 4 fouls. So Roberts with 4, McHale with 4, Kite with 5, and Boston unquestionably in foul trouble as Day comes in for Roberts.
You know, Boston has gone to a small team right now with Fred Roberts picking up fouls. They have Darren Day, Ainge, and Dennis Johnson on the floor to go with McHale and Bird. So actually, it's good matchups right now for Boston because Milwaukee has a small team on the floor.
Into McHale. Tip in by Bird. Doesn't go. Pressey.
What a great athletic move in the open floor. He cupped it with his open hand and pulled it back and took it right over the top of Dennis Johnson.
Lead is cut to 9. 4:11 to go, third quarter. Kevin McHale trying to give instructions today.
They're trying to disrupt the timing by showing a little press now.
Pressey's going to pick up the foul, and that will be his third.
25, Paul Pressey.
What Milwaukee's done in the last 3 possessions, Bob, is they've showed a little bit of full court or 3-quarter pressure, trying to get Boston out of their set offense, disrupt their timing. Boston's in a rhythm, and when they get in that rhythm, you've got to try to get them out of that. And what they've done is show a little press and then match up, make them use some shot clock.
Larry Bird misses a free throw, and Doug, it brings a question to mind for me. Larry Bird looks tired. He says that the many minutes he's playing per game doesn't matter.
Well, he's tired, but he's never going to admit that, because psychologically in this game, you're never going to give your opponent an edge by telling him you're tired. Larry Bird will tell his opponent he's fresh right now and ready to go.
He seems to me to be playing a little tired. That's all. It's just an observation. McHale with the rebound. It's stripped away from him, but Johnson's there. Darren Day against Sikma.
That was a wise move there by Darren not to force that.
But an unwise pass by Danny Ainge. And the ball will belong to Milwaukee on the over and back. Celtics lead by 10 with 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Ricky Pierce into the ball game for the Milwaukee Bucks. Craig Hodges, Moncrief, Sikma, and Paul Pressey. Pressey has 8 points in this quarter, by the way. It's a tense game. The crowd on the edge of their seat from the beginning of this. I think many of the Milwaukee fans didn't expect this game to be happening here. A hold on Darren Day as Moncrief tried to cut around.
Number 20, Darren Day. 2 on Day.
That's 2 on Darren Day.
Well, they're in the penalty right now, so
Number 4, Sidney Moncrief.
Milwaukee will shoot the rest of the quarter, the last 3:20, so they want to be wise now and try to make sure that they get contact on their shots or going to the basket on their drives. They can shoot free throws and get themselves right back in the ball game from the line.
Free throw advantage has meant the difference in every one of these games in this series, so that becomes a significant factor. Now 11 of 13 from the line. He has 23 points.
We see the press again. Little trapping press, and they'll match up man-to-man. They're now into a man-to-man. Trying to force them out of their offense.
Just came in for Ainge. Double teaming. Nice pass to Bird from Dennis Johnson.
Larry Bird from Johnson.
And Bird with his first points of, has 21 points now in the game. Had 14.
Ricky Pierce is a bull around the basket. He is so strong. His body just bangs against Johnson.
Celtics lead it by 8. 2:30 in the third quarter. Seasting open from Bird. McHale with a big rebound. Back to Bird. Shot clock down to only 15 as they got a new one. Johnson on the penetration. Misses the layup. Kept alive by Bird. Hodges throws it out of bounds. Wait a minute. There'll be a foul on Seasting.
That was a good call there by Earl Strom. He waited to see if Milwaukee had a break. You do not take a break away from a team if a guy's going to reach out and foul you. The foul was committed. The ball went out of bounds, and he had to make the foul. Here's what happens. He's waiting to see if the pass is completed because they would have had a layup. When it was not, then the foul is called. That's good officiating. You do not want to take a break away from a guy who's trying to tackle you in the open court.
Hodges now, who's 5th in the NBA regular season in free throw shooting at 89%, goes to the line. .2:11 to go, third quarter. Bucks have pulled to within 7. It was an 8-point game at halftime. Bucks cut it to 4. Boston stretched the lead to 12.
You made a good point a while ago when we were away for a timeout. You said you felt like Milwaukee was winning this game and they're down 6. It's been a crazy kind of game.
It looks as though Milwaukee's in control, and yet you check the scoreboard and the Celtics are up by a half a dozen. Shot clock to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Great Milwaukee defense.
So they've disrupted their timing.
Milwaukee with an incredible defensive stand. Boston could go nowhere, and the shot clock expired.
Their scrambling pressure defense has forced Boston out of their offense right now. If they score here, they've cut the lead now down to 4.
Milwaukee on a 9-4 run. Inside to Moncrief, and he gets the roll. 25 for Sidney Moncrief in this game, at 33 at Boston.
Foul on Jack Sikma in the low post. He had a hold of Kevin McHale. That's his third, but the team is not yet in the penalty.
Boston taking a timeout with 1:22 to go in the third quarter, and nursing a very slender 4-point lead.
Let's take a look, Bob, at a factor that might come into play in tonight's ball game. Let's look at minutes played in this series. Dennis Johnson almost 46 minutes a game. Larry Bird over 47. Ainge over 41. McHale over 40. In the second half of the ball game, Larry Bird, McHale, and Dennis Johnson have been on the floor the whole time. Will they be able to play the rest of this ball game at this kind of pace, or will KC have to find a spot maybe to give them a little bit of rest? I think that will be a key factor, and it'll be a big decision for KC Jones.
Milwaukee on an 11-3 run. Celtics lead by 4. Minute 19 to go in the third quarter. Bird fighting through 2 screens, and Pressey is still down there to bat the ball away.
Boston ball.
Shot clock to 10. Great Milwaukee defense in this quarter. Down to 6. Dennis Johnson with the drive. McHale and Day couldn't get it tipped in. Milwaukee can cut it to 2. Feasting comes away with it, and he's fouled. And it's going to be on Ricky Pierce. His 4th. That's the 15th foul for Milwaukee with 47 seconds to go in the quarter. It'll be a shooting foul.
Ricky Pierce tries to take the ball up and over Bird, and McHale, his lack of size cannot get it done for him, and in the loose ball foul, he knocks over Jerry Seasting. This is the first time Jerry Seasting has been to the free throw line, I think, since January. I'm kidding.
In the playoffs.
I'm kidding, but he has not been there for like 3 months.
He's 0 for the playoffs. Now he's 1 for 1.
Fred Roberts.
Seasting from Purdue. Another Midwestern guard.
Bird is going out right now. He's going to get exactly 47 minutes rest. You can count on it.
47 seconds.
Excuse me, 47 seconds rest, because he'll get this time and then the time during the timeout, and he'll be back on the floor.
There's the time remaining in the quarter. Boston leading it by 6. Cummings misses the perimeter shot, and the long arms of Kevin McHale are there. Shot clock has 13 seconds. Quarter clock 21. Now the shot clock down to 7. Dennis Johnson on the penetration. Has it stolen. Sidney Moncrief. 9 seconds in the quarter. Stolen again. Hodges. And he's fouled. It could be a 1-point game by the end of this quarter.
Boy, I tell you, the Milwaukee pressure defense forced a great turnover. Moncrief with a drive. They double-team the inbound pass to Seasting. They get him in a trap underneath the basket right there. The ball is knocked loose. It goes to Pierce. A push foul on Seasting. And this could really turn this ball game around.
5 seconds to go in the quarter. Boston could have an opportunity, or the way it's going, Milwaukee could have another opportunity.
This has been a crazy game. You know, Bob, I go back in the playoffs a long time, you know, since I've been in the league in 1973, and I've never seen the kind of playoff games that have gone on thus far in the NBA. The scores, the wild finishes,
the intensity,
the overtimes, the double overtimes. This has been spectacular playoff action.
Speaks to the parity in the league.
It's good for the league also, too, when a Seattle team can do the way the things they've done, and a Milwaukee can play Boston like this. It's great for the league.
Milwaukee finished 3rd in the Central this year. Time remaining, down to 4-3. Johnson with the runner, and he misses at the buzzer. Celtics started the second half leading by 8. Bucks whittled it to 1.
Here's a look at teams that have come back from 3-1 deficits in the NBA playoffs. Only 4 of them happening. In 1968, a gentleman sitting over on the Milwaukee bench named Don Nelson was a big part of this comeback over the 76ers. So Nelly's been there before as a player.
And Bill Fitch was coaching the Celtics in '81 when the Celtics came back. So they believe at the Mecca in Milwaukee. Ready for the final 12 minutes of Game 6, Eastern Conference semifinals, Boston and Milwaukee. These two teams have been going at each other in recent years. Every round, it seems, in the playoffs. At one point last year, Boston swept in the conference finals 4-0 past Milwaukee. McHale against Cummings in the basement. Doesn't get it. Kept alive, and Pierce is fouled.
Milwaukee right now has fresher legs than Boston, and it's going to be a factor. That time, Craig Hodges came flying in, and he's only about 6'2", 6'3" max, and kept that ball alive over the bigger Larry Bird, which gave his team an opportunity now to get to the free throw line. And again, let's keep track, Bob, so important in the fourth quarter, who gets to the free throw line, who commits the fouls, and when do you start shooting free throws? Because down the stretch, you don't give up layups, as we've already seen.
Milwaukee now on a 17-5 run that started with about 3.5 minutes to go in the third. Pierce hits them both. And the Bucks have the lead.
Their trapping defense has caused problems for Boston. It's got them a little bit out of rhythm right now.
McHale missing again, playing on a sore left knee.
Look at the tempo of the game. Milwaukee really looking to push it right now. Quick.
Hodges. Casey Jones calls timeout, and the Bucks are up by 3 points with 11 minutes to go.
Factor in the final quarter. Fresh legs. Look at the quickness of Craig Hodges as he explodes through the teeth of the Boston defense. And right now, Milwaukee is running on adrenaline and fresh legs, and Boston is trying to hold on. Will they be strong enough? That'll be interesting.
With 4:53 to go in the third, Boston led 86-74. Milwaukee on a 20-5 run since then. Fred Roberts. Dennis Johnson misses the tip, but he's fouled. Milwaukee last led with 7:42 to go in the first quarter at 14-13. That's how long it's been, but they lead now 94-91.
They scored the last 20 of the last 25 points. Here, Fred Roberts, a duck up and under move, but DJ comes flying in and tries to get the tip. It's a loose ball foul.
Boston ball with 21 seconds on the shot clock. Milwaukee wanted an offensive foul. Didn't get it. 3-point Bucks lead, 10:46 to go in the game. Dennis Johnson. And the tired legs are showing up in the Boston misses.
They missed like 6 straight shots in this quarter.
Moncrief, who now has 29 points.
They're rebounding and taking it to him in the open court, and Boston just can't stop him right now.
Milwaukee on a 22-5 run. Roberts' shot is blocked by Cummings.
Fouls on number 4.
It's on Moncrief, the
Sidney
foul.
Moncrief.
And that is 4 on Moncrief. Pierce also with 4.
Second on the Bucks in the period.
Here we go again.
Number 43,
The activities of Milwaukee. Cummings over with a spectacular block shot. And then the foul while the ball was down on the ground.
2 team fouls on Milwaukee, 1 on Boston. 10:02 to go in the game. Milwaukee all over Boston.
They're deflecting every pass right now. They're contesting every pass.
McHale and Sikma really battling down there. It's going to be a foul on Ricky Pierce. And for Pierce, that'll be number 5.
And I think that's the 3rd team foul.
Correct. Which is starting to swing a little advantage toward Boston.
Yes, it is, because then they'll start shooting on the 5th.
They're looking for Bird again or McHale. McHale over Sikma. Finally, Boston scores. Milwaukee had been on a 22-5 run. 3-point Milwaukee lead. 9.5 to go in the game. Jack Sikma with the reverse. 14 for Sikma.
He went right around Kevin McHale.
Wanted a foul, didn't get it. Milwaukee leading by 5. Can build their biggest lead. Milwaukee led by 6 real early in this game. Inside to Pierce. 100-93. The Bucks exploding on a tired, hurt Boston Celtics.
Still plenty of time for Bird to take over here.
Can't get anything done.
Look at him. They're not even getting back on defense. Look at him attack the basket.
Just to Pierce. 102-93, Bucks by 9. Timeout, Celtics. Let's go to our studios in Atlanta and Charlie Neal and John McLeod. John McLeod, Kevin McHale with a sore left knee, hurt that knee, hyperextended it right before the halftime. Robert Parish back in Boston, not here for this game because of a sprained ankle. Boston went to the bench. The bench helped him in the first half, but the tired legs are showing up, particularly Doug in that shooting percentage.
Well, they shot 1 for 10. Milwaukee, on the other hand, has shot 5 for 6. In Game 5 the other night, at the end of 3 quarters, Boston had shot 64%. They shot 30-odd% in the 4th period. Milwaukee went on to beat them.
102-93, Bucks by 9. 8 minutes, 10 seconds to go in this one. Bird inside. He's fouled from behind.
Bucks foul. 34.
As on Terry Cummings.
That's 4.
And that's 4 on Cummings. There are 3 Milwaukee players, Pierce, Moncrief, and Cummings with 4. For Boston, Roberts has 4, McHale 4, and Kite 5.
Boston is a veteran, experienced team. They are not going to fold now. I'll tell you right now, they're going to make their move. Larry Bird missing free throws, that is not normal. But Milwaukee must continue to attack. They must continue to look to push the ball and not get tentative. Keep running at Boston. Boston's going to have to handle the pressure defense. They are now in the penalty here. 14 fouls on Milwaukee.
Bird 4 for 6 at the free throw line tonight. Coming. There's McHale with a big rebound. Gets out of the pack. Milwaukee playing all over Boston inside their jerseys on defense.
The shots are short now. You see that? They're 1 for 11 now in the 4th period.
Bucks by 8. 7:27 remaining. A tired, hurt Celtics team, and Milwaukee having their way with them at the moment.
One thing there is in this sport is this thing called no sympathy. They do not. Milwaukee does not care whether they're tired or hurt. They're going to keep pushing that at them.
7 seconds on the Milwaukee shot clock. Excuse me. They just decided there was a violation, so they'll reset the shot clock. Kicking violation. 7:13 to go. Milwaukee by 8. They had trailed by 8 at the half. There's a turnover. Bird for 3. Not tonight. Or at least not yet.
1 for 12 now.
Even though Bird has 22 points and has done a lot in this game, he has been off his usual game tonight, no question about it.
Well, see, without Parish in there, he has to carry more of a load. They can pay more of a price than double teaming him.
Sikma with the block off the left-handed attempt. The Bucks build a lead to 10 with 6:22 remaining. Cummings with the basket. And he's starting to get hot, has 16 now. Moncrief with 29 for the Bucks.
Milwaukee does not want to foul now. They want to keep them shooting from outside. They're 1 for 12 or 1 for 13 in the period.
Ainge for 3.
But they do not want to foul them and put them on the free throw line. If you're going to get beat, make them beat you from the field.
The next Milwaukee foul will be the penalty. They have 14 fouls. Boston only 1. Sam Vincent was coming into the ball game for Boston. He returns to the bench now. Sikma misses the layup. Boston refusing to die here. Three-pointer from Ainge helped.
Don't forget that. They will not die. This is a world champion team.
Johnson for 3. It's good. It's now only a Milwaukee 4-point lead.
Funny what 2 3-pointers will do for your confidence. They were 1 for 13, and they stepped back and knocked in 2 threes. Boston will not die. You can forget that.
Bucks by 4. Boston on a 7-2 run now. Cummings misses, but there's the rebound by Moncrief. No foul. Ainge all alone for the layup. It's a 2-point Milwaukee lead. And Don Nelson says timeout, and where was the foul call? None was coming. A timeout on the floor with 5 minutes to go in the game. It's only a 20-second timeout. And Doug Collins, this has been one strange but interesting playoff game. Milwaukee went on a 24-7 run. Now Boston's on a 7 to making a 9-2 run to get back in the game.
Take a look here at the last fast break by Milwaukee. This wrap-around pass. I couldn't even see that until the replay, but then Terry Cummings on the drive. But the confidence and the swagger that this Boston team has, they're 1 for 13 from in the quarter. They step back, hit 2 threes and a breakaway. They've hit their last 3 shots. They scored 8 uncontested points. And now it's a 2-point game, and the pressure goes back to Milwaukee to execute.
And Milwaukee with 4 team fouls. The next time Milwaukee commits a foul, Boston will be at the line. Celtics have only 1. Significant down the stretch. Cummings off the screen. Misses. Bird rebounds. Boston can tie. Milwaukee had trailed by 8 at halftime, built a lead of 10, and Boston has come back. Talk about seesaw.
Game of streaks, also 2 shooting.
There's the mismatch. And the pass in to McHale.
Now all of a sudden, it's like there is no crowd in this ball game. Boston has just taken the crowd completely away.
A 9-2 Boston run. It's tied. Moncrief, who's been doing it all, gives to Sikma. It's from the baseline. Bucks with the 2-point lead.
Well, that's what Jack Sikma's given this Milwaukee team, a presence out there of a championship ring from his days in Seattle. He'll make the big hoops.
15 for Sikma in the game. They double Johnson, and Ainge hits a 3-pointer. 107-106, Celtics.
Again, the double team, they threw over Ainge, just spotting up for 3.
Pressey beats Bird. McHale is there. They're saying Boston touched it. Ricky Pierce comes into the ball game. Gerritsen and Strom talk it over. 13 seconds on the shot clock. It's going to belong to Milwaukee on the side. What a ball game. 1-point Celtics lead. 3:50 remaining in the game. There's the foul trouble situation. Kite hasn't played since he went out with about 6 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter.
Sikma's got Ainge on him in the post.
Here comes Moncrief. Now he's double teamed. Over the double team. Moncrief with 31. He had 33 in the game at Boston, and Ainge is injured. And there's a 20-second Boston timeout.
Now Ainge is hurt. Are you believing this? He got hit on the knuckle of his right hand, his shooting hand.
And he's in pain. It may be out of joint.
Oh, man.
Ray Melchiori, the trainer.
Isn't it amazing? I tell you, our trainer, Mark File, is here with me tonight. And it's the interesting thing about sports is there's certain things you can and you can't control. Injuries is one of the things you cannot control. And right now, Boston is being snake bitten with injury. Let's watch here on the, see if we can see what happens. Couldn't see anything happen there. It looked like he was already holding his hand like it had been hit.
He may have knocked it out of joint, but Ainge is back out there in the playoffs. You're going to play hurting or not. And now they're trying to say that Ainge checked out of the game. He's saying he did not. There's a question as to whether or not he can return to the floor. And
if he checked out of the game, he must stay out for one play.
Exactly. The
Now
question is, did he?
Yeah, let's see whether they ruled it. Otherwise, he cannot come right back in. He's got to stay out for one play.
And Seasting comes in. 3:27 to go in the game. Bucks lead it by 108-107. Boston has control of the basketball. If Boston wins, they will eliminate Milwaukee 4-2. If Milwaukee wins this game, it goes back to Boston on Sunday. Detroit awaits the winner of this series as Detroit came up with a tremendous win over Atlanta at the Omni in Atlanta to win that series.
If they force Jerry Seaston to try to take the shot, they're going to really pressure Dennis Johnson, trying to make him give the ball up to Jerry Seaston.
Shot clock to 7 seconds and a foul on Milwaukee, and that'll go to the line. It's on Terry Cummings, and that's his 5th. Cummings with 5 with 3:16 to go in the game. Boston with 1 team foul. Milwaukee now in the penalty.
That's going to be the key right there. Milwaukee can be, Boston can be aggressively active on the defensive end of the floor and not worry about putting him on the free throw line. On the other hand, any little foul now will put Boston at the line.
McHale missing the free throw. He has 19 points, 16 rebounds tonight.
He's missed some free throws tonight, too. That's very uncharacteristic for him. Normally an 80% free throw shooter.
It's 1 out of 2 this time.
Tied at 108.
Well, we've played 45 minutes to the right now for the game to be tied. We can start playing now. It's a tie game with 3 minutes to go.
108-108. Pressey guarded by Bird. Gets past him. The reverse ball, Pressey. With 16 in the game. And it's Milwaukee by 2.
I think they're going to go to Mr. Bird.
Bird sets the pick. They tried to get the switch, didn't get it. They have Moncrief holding Bird. Nobody calls it. Dennis Johnson misses. There's Bird. Left hand misses. Cummings with a rebound for the Bucks, and they're running.
They want to push it right now. They got him in a retreat defense.
Lucas fakes the 3 and drives. Out to Sikma. To Pressey, back to Cummings. Great ball movement to Lucas. Shot clock to 7. Used all the clock and got the 2. Milwaukee by 4. 2:13 remain.
Somebody lost the shoe. McHale lost the shoe.
Sikma blocked it. Lucas running. Johnson back. 114-108. And McHale is on the court with only 1 shoe. Throws it into the stands. Milwaukee trying to drive the nail in this night's coffin.
They ought to go right to McHale's guy. He's got 1 shoe. They'll isolate him. But they try to get the ball over to Jack Sikma. He wants the ball.
9 seconds. 8. Illegal defense called against Boston.
Illegal defense. 31. And Robert. That's the first call against Boston.
Now here's McHale going to get his shoe back on.
He's got to get a timeout to get his shoe. They can't take a chance on him playing right now with 1 shoe. There's only 1:30 to go.
Timeout Boston.
And the Bucks lead it 114-108. Minute 25 remaining in this ball game. The Bucks lead 114-108. trying to stay alive to return to Boston Garden on Sunday. Milwaukee down 3-1. They win at the Garden. Take it to 3-2. They trailed in this game by as many as 15, by as many as 8 at halftime, and now lead by 6 with 1:25 to go. It is Milwaukee ball.
Boston has scored 18 points in this period. It was 91-90. They scored 18 points. They use the clock and then let Lucas try to penetrate, maybe kick it out to a jump shooter. He'd probably like to penetrate to this side to go to either Moncrief.
Bird tried to foul him, couldn't do it. Johnson with the rebound. 1:04 remaining in the game.
Milwaukee does not want to foul here.
Johnson on the penetration. Gets the lay-in. It's a 4-point Bucks lead with 56 seconds to go in the game. Pressure in the backcourt now. It's McHale back there on Pressey. Calling his teammates out high. Everybody with a man now. McHale out high on Pressey. They're going to double the ball. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's partially blocked. Boston ball. 33 seconds to go in the game. Roberts didn't see the Bird pass.
That'll be it right there. They're going to have to foul him right now. Otherwise, they'll just run the clock out.
Ainge fouls Lucas with 19 seconds remaining, and the Bucks up by 4. Whoa, what a missed communication there. And there's the... Roberts obviously wouldn't be in that position were Parish healthy. Lucas pushed into the seats by, was it McHale? That'll be the 5th foul on McHale.
I'll tell you, a man who's come on in the last couple minutes for Milwaukee too is John Lucas. He's made 2 big drives. He gave him a 4-point lead with a little scooper in the lane, and then he hit a drive to put him up 6. So he hit the 2 big buckets to break this game open. Be interesting right now. Will Boston look to push the ball up and try to get a 3 on the run, or will they take the time and take it in half court? You can get a 3-pointer much easier if you look to push it, but you also will use more time on the shot clock.
Sikma perfect from the free throw line tonight. 7 out of 7. 17 seconds in the game. Fits it to McHale. He's fouled.
Bucks foul. 34.
That's Cummings, and he'll be gone. But only 12 seconds remain in the game. 6 on Cummings. Following this ball game, we'll have the Atlanta Braves and Pittsburgh Pirates on. Tape delay with Ernie Johnson, Pete Van Weeren, Skip Carey, and John Sterling immediately following tonight's game. It's a 5-point game. McHale hits it here. It's 4 with 12 seconds to go.
Milwaukee wants to make sure that they get the ball into the hands of a good free throw shooter.
McHale tried to miss that shot to go for the 3-point opportunity as he tried to bounce it hard off the back of the rim. Didn't get that to happen. 7 seconds to go in the game. Foul on Bird. 5-point Bucks lead. It's as well as over, and this series will go 7 games and go back to the Boston Garden on Sunday. Now, will Robert Parish be able to play? He sprained his ankle in the previous Garden game with less than 4 minutes to go.
You know, we had a high-scoring game in the first half. And you notice how the scores come way down in the second half? I think I said at the start of the game, if Boston were to win this game, they had to keep the score around 110. They have 111 points.
Bucks 117. 118. And this ball game's over with 7 seconds left. Hodges with the interception. Time remaining in the lower right for 3. And that's mud in your eye from Sidney Moncrief. And the Celtics and the Bucks go back to Boston Garden. That counted, and Milwaukee wins this one by 10. The fans in the stands at the Mecca holding their signs. They say, yes, we can. Milwaukee finished third in the Central Division behind Atlanta and Detroit, but they have come alive in the playoffs. It took Philadelphia 5 games before coming into the second round. Boston got a 3-1 lead. But now, as Doug Collins was pointing out before the game, it's down to 1 game. You don't look at it, as you said, Doug, as though we've got to win 3 now. We just take 1, and now what Milwaukee has to do is win 1 game.
Well, you know, they've got the work cut out to go to Boston Garden and win, but the impetus they should get from winning these next 2 games should carry over. Robert Parish, you know, his health is a big question. Kevin McHale's health will be a big question. He had a hyperextended knee. You don't know how he's going to wake up tomorrow, what condition he's going to be in. Danny Ainge turned a knuckle on his hand. Larry Bird fell on his wrist. So right now, Boston is beat up. They're playing short-handed, and Milwaukee right now is very confident that they can do it.
They're healthy and on a roll, and the series is tied at 3. Back to select our player of the game right after this. Tonight's Miller Lite player of the game is Sidney Moncrief, who once again rose to the occasion, another career playoff high, and he was there at the right time, including the punctuation 3-pointer at the end of the game.
Well, he, as we have talked about, is the emotional leader of this ball club. He gives them the feeling that when he's on the floor, they can win. A couple statistics that I think bear out this ball game. Free throw shooting, Milwaukee 32 for 41, Boston 19 for 26. But here's the key stat. In the 4th period, Milwaukee shot 12 for 21, 57%. The tired legs we were talking about, Boston 6 for 24, 25%.
So the Mecca is still rocking. The fans don't even want to leave here because they know that Game 7 goes back to Boston Garden. And even though these fans believe Milwaukee will win again there, they realize it could be the last game they'll see here this year if Milwaukee doesn't get the win at Boston Garden. So speaking for Doug Collins and our entire TBS sports crew, this is Bob Neal from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, saying stay tuned for Braves baseball, and so long, everybody.